Huntsville is shaking again, and this time the streets are louder than ever. It started with one rumor that spread like wildfire: Arionne Curry babysitting Melody Shari's kids while Melody was off living her best life in Paris. Whether it's true or not doesn't even matter anymore, because the internet didn't wait for receipts. It exploded. The thought alone was enough to send fans into chaos, calling out Martell Holt for crossing every imaginable line. The same woman who helped break Melody's marriage now allegedly watching her children. You couldn't script a plot twist this messy. But here's the real twist. It's not just about babysitting. It's about control, image, and the truth unraveling in real time. Arionne's trying to rebrand, Martell's trying to recover, and Melody? She's not even trying. She's just living, glowing, and letting her silence do what words never could. This isn't a love triangle anymore. It's a masterclass in karma, power, and the kind of peace that drives your ex crazy. The question isn't who's lying, it's who's finally done pretending. Because in Huntsville, the drama doesn't end when the cameras stop. It ends when the truth decides to speak. And this time, it's screaming. The rumor hit social media like a wrecking ball, flipping Huntsville upside down in seconds. The claim that Arionne Curry was babysitting Melody Shari's kids while Melody was away in Paris wasn't just gossip. It was emotional dynamite. Fans couldn't believe it. How could Martell Holt even consider leaving his children with the same woman who played a part in destroying his marriage? It was the kind of claim that doesn't need proof to cause chaos, because the story alone was too wild to ignore. Within hours, timelines were flooded with think pieces, reactions, and live videos dissecting every angle. Some said it was all lies. Others swore they knew someone close to the situation. And before long, it wasn't just a rumor. It became a conversation about respect, motherhood, and boundaries. Melody, who's been living her best life, turned her pain into power. She's walking in Paris Fashion Week while her ex and his drama circle are still spinning in the same chaos. That's the kind of glow-up you can't fake. She's no longer fighting online battles or explaining herself. She doesn't need to. Her silence speaks louder than Martell's lives ever could. Arionne, on the other hand, seems stuck in a loop that never ends. Her recent announcement about going back to nursing school sounded more like a cry for validation than a step toward independence. The way she delivered it, beaming on live, almost waiting for Martell's approval, told everyone exactly what they needed to know. She's not making moves out of freedom. She's making moves that still orbit around him. The internet saw right through it, calling it dependency disguised as growth. It's become a pattern that repeats itself year after year. Arionne says she's changing. She's focusing on herself. But every time Martell appears, it's like she forgets her own storyline. That's why people no longer see her as a victim. They see her as someone addicted to the cycle. And Martell? He's giving performances nobody asked for. One moment he's on camera talking about being a dedicated father. The next he's pacing around on Instagram Live like a man arguing with ghosts. His emotions seem to shift with the wind, and each time he opens his mouth, the contradictions pile up higher. The more he tries to explain, the more people tune out. What used to be seen as passion now looks like chaos. Even his most loyal supporters can't defend the endless rants and late-night meltdowns. He's fighting for control, but the more he talks, the clearer it becomes that he's lost it. Melody doesn't have to expose him. He does that himself. And that's where the irony lies. He once accused Melody of chasing clout, but now he's the one refreshing his comments, watching the engagement drop, wondering why the sympathy he expected never comes. Meanwhile, Melody's name trends without her lifting a finger. That's power, the kind you can't fake or force. It's the difference between being self-made and being Martell-made. It's what separates growth from dependency, peace from chaos, and healing from denial. The rumor about babysitting might fade in a few days, but the reaction it triggered says everything about where everyone stands. Melody is in a new chapter, Martell is trapped in the old one, and Arionne is still trying to find a page that belongs to her. Arionne's life has started to look like a loop she can't escape, where every attempt to prove her independence only circles back to Martell. When she went live to talk about returning to nursing school, viewers expected growth, but what they saw was dependency dressed up as motivation. The way she spoke, constantly glancing at her phone, responding to invisible validation, it felt like she needed Martell's approval to breathe. And that's been her pattern for years. Every public moment she has, somehow he's right there in the background. If not physically, then emotionally, guiding her tone, shaping her moves, controlling her narrative. Even when she posts quotes about growth and self-worth, They come across as attempts to convince herself rather than the audience. It's like she wants to be seen as healed without ever actually healing. And the public isn't buying it. The comment sections tell the story loud and clear. People are tired of her being the victim and the villain in the same sentence. They've watched her go from defending Martell to blaming him to circling back around for another chance. It's emotional whiplash, and at this point, viewers are no longer reacting with anger. They're reacting with pity. They see a woman who built her entire image around a man who never built anything real for her in return. Meanwhile, Martell continues to spiral. His need for attention is becoming a brand in itself. Every time he hits Go Live, fans already know what's coming. Shade toward Melody, subtle digs at Arionne, a sprinkle of self-pity, and a full serving of contradictions. He plays the victim, the misunderstood father, the man who just wants peace. But peace doesn't trend, and he knows it. So he keeps stirring the pot because quiet makes him irrelevant. The sad part is he doesn't realize that every rant, every defensive outburst, is evidence stacking against him in the eyes of the world and possibly the courtroom. He's performing for sympathy, but all anyone sees is instability. Melody, on the other hand, doesn't have to say a word. She moves in silence, posts her wins, and lets time do what it always does: reveal the truth. Her calm has become her weapon. She's not chasing validation. She's collecting results. The contrast between her composure and Martell's chaos is what keeps people talking. It's a reminder that real strength doesn't need to scream. Every time she posts a casual video from a brand shoot or shares a glimpse of her new ventures, it's another quiet reminder that she won the battle he's still fighting. And it's not just about success. It's about peace, control, and emotional freedom. Melody's not running from her past. She's using it as fuel. That's what makes her evolution hit harder. Because while Martell and Arionne are still trapped in the same cycle of public validation and private confusion, Melody has moved on to something neither of them seem to understand: authentic happiness. The real unraveling isn't happening online. It's happening behind closed doors where actions speak louder than captions. The courtroom has become the new battlefield, not Instagram. And judges don't care about who gets more followers or sympathy. They care about consistency and stability. That's where Martell keeps losing. His online rants, late-night lives, and emotional outbursts paint a picture of a man still trapped in his own chaos. Every time he claims to be misunderstood, he proves exactly why people have stopped believing him. What once looked like pride now looks like fear. Fear of losing control, losing relevance, losing the narrative he's tried so hard to maintain. Meanwhile, Melody doesn't need to fight in public because she's already winning in private. Every silent move she makes, every project she launches, is a quiet statement that peace is her new power. She's not out to embarrass anyone. She's just showing what healing actually looks like. That's why fans ride for her. She's not pretending to be perfect. She's just not pretending anymore. She's done explaining, done defending, done carrying the blame for a story she's already rewritten. The most powerful thing she's done is walk away without bitterness, and that's exactly what sets her apart. Arionne, though, is still trying to figure out where she fits in the mess she helped create. She posts about self-love but still entertains the same man who broke her spirit. She talks about peace but keeps stepping into storms that don't belong to her. It's a cycle of emotional waiting. Waiting for Martell to choose her. Waiting for public forgiveness. Waiting for a narrative that paints her in a softer light. But the audience isn't waiting with her anymore. They've seen this story too many times, and they know how it ends. Because you can't rebuild your image on someone else's pain. And while she tries to reinvent herself, Melody's evolution makes it impossible to ignore the difference between surviving and thriving. Martell is stuck rehearsing his excuses, Arionne is chasing closure that will never come, and Melody is already living the next chapter. That's the quiet truth the internet can't deny. The ending doesn't change until the character does, and right now, only one of them has, and that's where the story lands. At the moment where everything that once felt like gossip turns into a reflection of growth, regret, and revelation. Huntsville isn't just watching a messy love triangle anymore. They're witnessing a transformation that's reshaping how people see accountability and power. Melody Shari has become a symbol of what it means to rise from chaos without ever losing grace. She's not fighting for revenge, she's fighting for peace. And in that silence, she's louder than every rant, every rumor, and every shade post combined. Martell Holt, meanwhile, is learning the hard way that control doesn't equal love, and attention doesn't equal respect. His downfall isn't happening because people hate him. It's happening because he refuses to evolve. And Arionne Curry, still caught in that storm, is realizing that proximity to a man's spotlight isn't the same as standing in your own. The truth is, power shifts quietly. Melody didn't need a scandal to prove anything. She just needed time. And time gave her everything Martell took: peace, confidence, and freedom. The audience isn't rooting for the drama anymore. They're rooting for the truth. Because at the end of the day, the loudest clapback isn't online. It's the life you live after the storm. This is the hype spill, where the truth always finds its mic. Truth always finds its mic.